Hey guys! This video is going to be my first attempt at modifying a game console, and I chose my first ever handheld system, which is the original Game Boy Advanced. This whole mod was paid for with money from the support you guys have shown me on Twitch, so thank you so much for letting me do awesome things like this. I started removing the GBA's outer screws, because I wanted to clean them up a bit and reuse them, but found out later that they didn't fit in very well with the new shell. My original idea was to give the GBA a non-transparent white pre-cut shell with orange buttons, but after an unpleasant experience with Retro 6, I turned to handheld Legends and got these two non-pre-cut transparent shells. I ended up going with the black shell because it fit the best with the orange buttons that I got. To make room for the IPS screen, there is quite a bit of plastic you need to get rid of. The first step is to trim this area to give the IPS screen a flat surface to rest on. I used a cardboard knife and some precision grinding tools that I got from my local hornback. The second step is to remove the plastic on this side to give some extra room for the larger screen to rest. It's very important to leave the little piece marked in green, because the L button relies on it to work. You still have to trim it quite a bit to make room for the screen though, and it took me a few tries, chipping off a little at a time. The majority of the plastic on this side came off pretty easily after making cuts and bending it back and forth until it eventually broke off. The last step was trimming the edges on both sides and on the bottom of the LCD window to make sure it's not obstructing the LCD image. The knife I was using was not very good for cutting plastic, but with a single swipe I managed to cut myself in 2 fingers. After about 2 hours of working on the shell, it was finally time to start working on the board itself. There are 3 screws that hold the motherboard in place, so I unscrewed those, removed the buttons, and unclipped the screen from the board. I fit the gasket in place and only partially removed some of the release liner to expose less of the gasket adhesive. In doing so, the chance of the screen breaking, if I one day decide to remove it, is reduced. I put the IPS screen in place and connected it to the ribbon cable. Most people use tape to hold the ribbon steady, but I didn't have any, so I had to work without it. I immediately put the protective glass in place to prevent anything from getting between the screen and the glass. I soldered 3 wires to the select L and R pads on the ribbon cable. Then I put all the buttons and button membranes in place before it was time to solder some more. I soldered the select wire to TP2, which is located just above the start and select button on the front of the motherboard. I fit the board back in place with the 3 screws before continuing to solder the L and R wires to each respective button. Then I locked the ribbon cable into its connector on the motherboard with the help of a screwdriver. And that was pretty much it. If I made this look easy, don't be fooled. This was 5 hours of blood, sweat and tears. As I said in the beginning of this video, this was my first time modding a console at all. My first time soldering. Like the closest thing to this that I've ever done is replacing a battery in Pokemon Ruby. Half the time I spent on making sure the IPS screen could actually fit into the shell, So if you're looking for less of a challenge, I can definitely recommend getting a pre-cut shell. And if you've done anything similar like this, or have experience with soldering, then this is gonna be a walk in the park for you. But for me it was actually a challenge, and I'm really happy that I did it. I believe it turned out great. There's no way I can give it a fair showcase. I don't have the equipment to do that. This console you really have to see in person. It is really beautiful, and I can't wait to start shiny hunting on it and bring it wherever. Shoutouts to Handheld Legend and Funny Gaming for all the things I used in this mod. I'll leave links in the description for their websites. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to share it with a friend. Leave a like, comment. I put down quite a lot of effort into this video, both the whole mod itself and editing. Took me probably 20 hours plus. And yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.